All right, folks. It is Thursday night. It is 8 p.m. It is time for your Big Gold Belt Wrestling podcast. And we got quite the week to get into in pro wrestling. We got John Cena, who is going to give you nothing. We got to talk about John Cena because we've been waiting for the motivation. And now we got the motivation. So he is going to give you nothing. We're going to talk about that. We got Lex Luger wanting to hang out with his old buddy Sting for the Hall of Fame. Should that happen? And if so, might have to be some business deals made for that to happen. So we're going to talk about that and what's going on with there. There was some violence on AEW last night. That's nothing new, so we'll probably touch on that. And who knows what else? There's all kinds of stuff going on. Jey Uso, all kinds of things in a very busy time of year as we are on the road to WrestleMania and all kinds of other stuff. Get ready, folks. Your Big Old Belt Wrestling podcast starts right now.
Big Old Belt, 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 Big Old Belt. All I really want is that Big Old Belt, 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 Big Old Belt. All I really need that Big Old Belt.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to your Big Gold Belt Wrestling podcast on this fine Thursday night. This is season 5, episode 7 that we are getting into this week. We got the two of us here tonight. A lot of the guys are busy. A lot of things going on. Very busy time of year with March Madness and spring starting and all kinds of stuff like that. So I am Will on the left side of your screen, and on the right is Damian G down in the Lone Star State to get you through this week in pro wrestling, as we do here each and every week here at Big Gold Belt Media. So we are so glad you are here with us. Damian, how are you doing this week? It's been a couple weeks since you and me have seen each other at the same time on here.
Yes, sir. We are in the same place at the same time. As you said, the channel's been busy. Me and Boss Man have been going to screenings and doing reviews for the show and the channel. So been busy. But my bracket's still intact. Just so y'all know, my bracket is still intact.
That is saying something that you managed to still have. There's already been some upsets as we're sitting here Thursday night. So it's been an eventful afternoon, though. The only game I saw today was the Montana Grizzlies against Wisconsin, and that went about as I expected. But being the wife is from Montana, we always have to see what's up with the Grizz. So it was exciting for a little bit, like the first half. But then the second half, I was like, okay, this is going pretty much how I figured it would. So March Madness fun, as always, going on this time of year. Lord knows, I think today and tomorrow are the days where like everyone tries to take off work for the first round and all that fun. So, all right, let's see here. It has been a crazy week in pro wrestling. So we got all kinds of stuff to get into tonight. So this is just two of us. This always makes it easy because we can jump all over the place and keep things moving, as opposed to when we have the large group, when there's 4 or 5 of us and there's a lot of people who need to weigh in on stuff. So let's start by far with the biggest thing of the week. Definitely something we've been waiting on since Elimination Chamber when the trigger was pulled. And you haven't been on, I think, since Elimination Chamber, since everything happened with John Cena. So you haven't had a chance to weigh in on all this drama. So this will be good. This is perfect. So since that show happened, like the big talk we had the week after that, me and Crab were on the week after, and the big question was, what's the deal with John Cena? How's he going to spin this turning on Cody, joining up with The Rock, having the scowl on his face and kicking Cody in the nuts and whipping him with a belt? How is he? What is the motivation going to be here for John Cena when we finally get it? And, you know, they made us wait weeks. They made us wait till they went over to Europe. They made us wait till they went to Brussels this past Monday. So this Monday afternoon, like the kids could have been coming home from school and seen this right after school, the way it was going with it airing live on Netflix on 3 p.m. here on the East Coast where I am. So made for some interesting viewing. But John Cena finally gave us his side of things, finally gave us his opinion. And the short version of it is John Cena will give you nothing. He is quite upset. He is definitely holding a grudge for the past 25 years. And he pulled in the whole idea of, for 25 years, I was treated like garbage and people booed me and abused me. I was in an abusive relationship for 25 years is the way John Cena is spinning this. And I'll give him this. He's pulling from real life stuff. He's pulling from how the crowds treated him. And he's like, hey, I'm not just a character. I'm a human being. And you people have abused me and used me for all this stuff. And even if you bought my shirts, you were still using me then. So screw all y'all. And I thought it was a heck of a promo. It was definitely long. And I think I saw the reaction from a lot of people that well, he's just blaming the fans. We've heard that before. But in this case where I'm sitting, it's like, what do you want him to say? It's like that for his character especially, for the years of let's go John Cena sucks, the dueling chants, which hell we got in Brussels. For the years of that, it's like if anyone can play the fans have done me wrong card, I'm thinking John Cena has the right to. So Damian, get in here. Hell, since you ain't been here since Cena turned, let's get your thoughts on John Cena and where we're at with John Cena today.
Okay, the turn, I loved it. I'll say it that I loved how it played out. You know what? I could have done without The Rock doing the throat and bison gesture.
Right.
If it was John Cena doing it on his own, I would have loved it even more, because he could have used the angle of at the time, like, hey, I ran this place for 20 some odd years. This dude comes back 4 years ago and y'all kiss his ass. But me, I've been here the whole time and I catch your vitriol when he left and came back. So if he would have even used that as the basis, that would have been good. But you know what this reminded me of? This reminded me of the Daniel Bryan fickle fans heel turn when he was the Planet's champion. Good call.
Okay.
Because the IWC, if they're known for anything, it's for being flip-floppity and fickle. And if things don't go 100% how they want to fantasy book, I don't want it. I don't like it. So pulling from history, yes, we booed, and I was part of the people that booed Cena when he was Super Cena. Yeah, y'all booed him for 20 some odd years. And the only reason now we're giving him his flowers is because he's on a farewell tour.
Right.
Yeah. That's not because you love the man John Cena or thank you, John, in that sense. It's more like, well, it's kind of like old Yeller being put out to pasture. We're going to give you your flowers because, you've put over Austin Theory. You've put over Solo Sikoa. You lost in 5 minutes to The Undertaker. You've kind of been on a downtrend. Let's give the old man his applause now. And John's like, wait a minute, hold on. I was the face that ran the place long before that was a slogan from AJ Styles. Did y'all forget that? Did y'all forget that I was the one that tore my pec and came back in like 3 months for the Royal Rumble because I didn't want to miss WrestleMania? Are you the one that forgot that I did all these Make-A-Wishes and y'all still booed me even though y'all knew the man behind the character was doing all this good stuff?
Right,
and y'all still booed me? Nah, you get nothing. And then on top of that, you expect me to come out with new music, new gear, just to change my attitude? No, this has been my attitude. Y'all just don't like it. And I ain't changing for y'all. Y'all said I'm too old to wear jorts. Screw you. Y'all said I'm too old to have the hat with my balding hairline. Screw you. John, I understand. As a man in his 40s and had a bald spot, I get it. I understand. So for me personally, I love this heel turn and I love the way it's pissing people off. And I love the way the only thing I would have reined back was during Elimination Chamber, the scowl, that forced scowl, the grumpy pants, looking like Grumpy Cat circa 2015.
It was very cartoonish.
It was very cartoonish. And that was the only thing I didn't really like about it. I did enjoy the mic drop during the press conference. I thought that was perfect because I owe you nothing. And again, even in Brussels, to that kid over there chilling in my gear, I still don't owe you anything. Yeah, I'm John M. F. Cena. I'm the man that's supposed to be a 17-time world champ. And this is how y'all want to play me? Like I'm some retirement Ric Flair on my last legs kind of thing? Nah. You don't deserve my best when you booed me at my best. So even on the come down, bravo, John. Bravo.
When I was watching the promo, I immediately had a call back in my head to another promo, and I quickly had to look it up and find it. I posted it up on my Twitter with the darn with John Cena's picture instead, doing the talk. So it was so damn similar, but it reminded me of this quote: "For 2 years, brother, for 2 years, I held my head high. I did everything for the charities. I did everything for the kids. And the reception I got when I came out here, you fans can stick it, brother." When Hogan turned, that was the line from Hogan. It was like, okay, Cena gets a call back 25 years instead of 2. But the same idea of the fans have been treating me like crap. So, damn it, I'm sick of it. I'm going to give it back to him. So, yeah, I'm very interested where they go from here. Because there was no mention of The Rock. Didn't get anything about, Dwayne. Didn't even really mention the title. Other than when Cody came out and confronted him, it was just like, I was excited to wrestle John Cena, the 16 times champion, Super Cena, but I'm not excited to wrestle this guy at WrestleMania. This is a pale comparison. So, but we got a month. We got a month to WrestleMania to tweak things and do a lot more with this. I figured this is just the first steps. Like the people that were getting so in their feelings about, it's just he's blaming the fans. I'm like, that's all he needs to do. We have a very small window here of dates with John Cena before he's supposedly gone. So I'm like, let's just get to it. We don't have time to play games here with, it was motivation this, is motivation that. When we first had the turn the week after that show, Crab was thinking that maybe he isn't even really a heel. Maybe it's just no matter what the cost, I gotta be 17-time champion. I gotta break that record, and that was what pushed him over the edge. And maybe we'll still get that. Maybe, going from here, then they'll start really leaning on the idea of John Cena wants number 17, and he'll sell his soul to get number 17. But this worked for me because the plain and simple thing is it was all real. It was all stuff you could buy into. He wasn't trying to spin some Cody Rhodes said something bad about me one time or something in the locker room. I was like, no, they made it. Fans have treated me like crap. So if you can't relate to that, what can you? I think it's fine. I think it's totally fine.
So, I agree. Yeah, for how it was, and I'm going to be interested in how the dates, as you said, right? He's not going to be live for a while or too often. So we have an opportunity here to do vignettes. We have an opportunity to do distance promos from the comfort of his own home kind of thing via satellite, very 1998, like we're used to, right? In the Attitude Era. But there's a whole lot of ways we can drum up interest, and we don't even have to. It's Cena versus Cody, evil versus good, supposedly, right? That's all you need. It's box office. It's 2 heavyweights. It's I want to get mine versus you can't take this. And when it happened, going back to when the heel turn happened, in our group chat, I even said, right gimmick, surprising person. Because we were talking about the potential, like the McMahon screw job, like, I'm going to go in the dark side. We thought it might have been Punk or somebody else, or even Cody siding with The Rock and saying, screw the fans. And when I saw it with Cena, I said, this makes it 30 times better than it could have been. Because now he's not the cool heel anymore, right? Like in villainy, we've often seen in movies and comics and TV where there's a cool bad guy, right? We want to root for the cool bad guy. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock when he was cutting those types of promos. John's a heel. He don't want to be cool with y'all. He wants all y'all to suck it, right? Yeah. That he wants all y'all to kiss his ass because y'all all were in on the joke. Prime example goes back to Kurt Angle, the whole you suck, right? And Kurt be like, I thought I sucked. Now y'all want to cheer for me? So
it don't work like that.
It don't work like that. And that's why I'm glad, and you brought it up, I'm glad he came out the way he did on the promo because he left no doubt. I'm not the cool heel. I might be the get off my lawn heel, but you're going to boo me because and I'll say it this way, like I told one of my other friends, I said, this for me was better than Hogan at Bash at the Beach. This for me was, he made tons of people, generations of fans, old, young, medium age, toddlers probably, cry, get mad.
Yeah.
We didn't have social media back at Bash in the Beach 96.
Right.
But now that's drumming up even more support for the heel turn, using the IWC, because we've talked about this on other superstars where they use social media to get themselves more heelish. Drew does it. Becky used to do it very often to bring up a match. Now Cena, instead of these, he can still use positive quotes and still be considered a dick. And I love it. I love it. It's like, oh, you're a fake hero. Oh, don't try to suck up now that you want to turn your back on us. He's like, no, I didn't change. Y'all been assholes to me from jump. So what'd you expect me to do?
Right.
So
I'm just calling on your bullshit after all.
Exactly. Call it like I said.
No, and I think, like you said, I think this becomes a very easy match to sell, especially to the folks that are your casual viewers that just watch WrestleMania. For them, it's super simple. You just go, Cody, you saw Cody Rhodes win the world title last year at WrestleMania. You saw him end Roman Reigns' big streak. Well, he's kept the title all year, and guess what? John Cena came back and he turned bad. And John Cena's trying to break the record, and he's a bad guy now for the first time in like ages since the Thugonomics days. So it's evil John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. It's a very easy match, and it's a unique match. So no, it's smart all the way around. And like I said, we got a month to get there. The Rock ain't showing his face, so how the Rock ties into this, because how that night they were doing it at Elimination Chamber, the vibe I kind of got was like, oh, it's like the old guard teaming up against the new guard. You know, we had Rock and Cena there as like, you know, the generational faces of like the late 90s, 2000s, and now the new guy who's supposed to be, you know, the next generation. And I mean, like, them standing over him is kind of like, you're not at our level yet.
But I'm glad they didn't do that. I'm glad they didn't go that route. At least yet, they haven't gone that route of we're the old guard, because it's a been recycled angle, right? Going back to WCW, TNA, when they were Impact, like the Main Event Mafia, the New Blood, all that stuff was already done. But to this magnitude, hey Cupcake, how you doing? Will Cena retire? Is his question, or their question.
Bring that up here.
Not till they're done.
We got a year at least.
We got a year, and even still, a bigger douche move would be like, "Fooled you, not retiring."
Right?
That's an even bigger douche move. So I just love that we don't even need The Rock in this subplot. We don't need the introduction. I don't need the whole like, oh, what was The Rock? Did y'all team? We're not even talking about that. We're talking about the fact that John Cena finally went back to the dark side. Has a lot of people wanted, right? Y'all all wanted this. Cena need to turn heel. No more Super Cena. No more good guy Cena.
People been calling for ages.
For ages. Since you and I probably were in our like 20s, people have been calling for that. Like, no, we need John to stay heel. No. Good. I like this. Let's see where it goes. It's not like Superman when he turns in Superman 3, right? This might date us, but remember Superman 3 when he actually had that evil side of him come out?
Yeah.
This isn't that. This isn't that. This is calling people on their fickle nature. That's if Superman woke up one day and said, you know what? You guys are really ungrateful. I do a lot of stuff for you guys. I save your kids. I save your cats from trees. I save you from nuclear warheads. And the least y'all could say is thank you. But no, I mess up one time and you guys want to get on me. So you know what?
Oh, man.
There you go.
Super Cena's going to give it to us. He's going to give it to us. You don't get music. I think the cherry on top for me was that he went so far to go there. You know, he's like, he called out everyone booing him. He called out all the years of abuse. But when he went to the specific part of, I see you out there wearing my shirts, and even you, and he starts pointing them out, even the little kid and everything. And it's like, even you people, you're not safe. You're the problem too, because you just take from me. You just take and take and take. So he played every card perfectly. I mean, who knows how long he spent putting this together, coming up with this idea, but I thought it was masterful. I thought it was masterful. As far as Cupcake saying, will Cena retire? I'm sure he is here through the end of the year unless something crazy comes up. But like you said, he's getting up there. Like you said, Damian, he's getting up there. The age is starting to catch up with him. And I keep looking at him and thinking, okay, he's Peacemaker now. He's got all this, Hollywood stuff going on and commercials and all that. And I keep looking at him and thinking, like, he's probably looking at his contemporary, old Big Dave, and how Big Dave has made quite the transition into film. And a lot of that came with him having to slim down, lose the muscle, so he could get a wider range of roles. So I kind of get the feel. I mean, Cena's already slimmed down as it is. He's definitely not as jacked as he used to be. So, but I can see him being like wanting to make that full transition. So, I mean, think after this, what's he got left? This is kind of like, this is the victory lap. This is the big thing he never got to do. He'll run on top, do it for this year, and then like off into the sunset.
Yeah.
Shows up,
and then all will be forgiven afterwards, right? Let's be real.
Of course.
We're all going to forgive him afterwards, so it doesn't really matter.
There you go. All right, I guess that's enough Cena talk. We knocked that out. We'll see where it goes. Like I said, we got a month till WrestleMania, so there are more cards to be played in this. So also coming up WrestleMania weekend, of course, is the Hall of Fame, which will be going down at a hotel in Vegas. It's not part of SmackDown. I like they're making it a separate event again. It's going to be after SmackDown, but it's over the other side. I think at the Hotel Fontainebleau.
I believe it is, yes, Fontainebleau.
Yeah, they're having a bunch of events there. So that's I think that's become the official hotel of WrestleMania. But it's been announced Lex Luger is going to be going into the WWE Hall of Fame. Well deserved. Luger's had a heck of a last couple years of like really like, health issues and battling back and working with DDP and like making amends with a lot of people. So I'm really glad to see Luger recognized after all these years, especially while he's around to really appreciate it. Really excited about that. So props to Lex Luger. Excited to see this happen because he goes back to our days of, Jim Crockett Promotions in the mid 80s and all that, So going all that far back, the question was who's going to induct these people? Who are they going to get? And the word going around this week was that Luger, unsurprisingly, at the talk was that if anyone's going to induct him, he'd want Sting to induct him, which makes perfect sense to me because they were attached at the hip all through WCW, tag team partners or feuding or whatever, but they were the same guy in WCW. You couldn't have one without the other for their entire WCW run. Even when Luger came to WWF and wore the red, white, and blue, still him and Sting were contemporaries all through the 90s, all through their career. So it makes perfect sense to me. I get why he's asking. There's just the one little hitch, though. Yeah. Sting is very much under an AEW contract. Even if he's retired, he's still definitely an AEW property at the moment. So this creates a little bit of a scenario here where, and I guess there's already talk that I don't know if they've already reached out or if it's just, they're considering reaching out, but obviously that's the number one topic on everyone's mind regarding this is, okay, well, if they reach out to AEW, how should AEW respond to this? Should they be, should they say, screw it, absolutely not? Should they be like, maybe we can do something here? When Sting retired, Luger couldn't go to his retirement match in Greensboro. So when the shoe was on the other foot just a year ago for Sting's retirement in AEW, when he had the match of him and Darby against the Young Bucks, he couldn't go. Luger couldn't go down there. So, okay, if you look at it like that, turnabout's fair play. Be like, nope, you didn't let us have Lex, you're not getting Sting. But I don't know. What are you thinking here? Should this be just an absolute? No, I mean, I see a lot of people saying absolutely not. Tony's just going to look foolish if he does this. There's no damn way he should allow Sting to go. But in some ways, it's like, the shoe's on the other foot. It's a totally different situation. Right. So I don't know. What do you think? Where are you thinking on this?
Okay, so when I'm about to say, internet, relax. Okay, I'm not comparing these two people. I'm just using it as a comparison point.
Okay.
This wouldn't be the first time that an AEW person appeared at the Hall of Fame for somebody. When Billy Gunn was able to go to be a part of DX, I was at that at that Hall of Fame introduction where Triple H made the joke about the Pissant Company and this, that, and the third. This wouldn't be out of the norm. I'm sure they came up with some sort of considerations back before they even let Billy Gunn do it. And I'm not comparing them as from, apples to oranges kind of thing. No. But it's not unprecedented. So for people to say, oh, well, Tony would be weak if he did. No, he wouldn't. I'm sure he would make a good business decision. I'm sure he will respect if Sting wants to do it. Yeah, I'm going to sit here and be the dude that told Sting, yeah, don't induct your friend into the Hall of Fame. I'm going to be that asshole. That doesn't really help anybody in that situation. That's just called being petty. Now, Vince, if it was the other way around, going to either WCW or to AEW, he wouldn't do it because it's Vince being petty. But now with TKO, now with Hunter, and it isn't as big of a deal as everybody's making it out to be. Let Sting go induct his friend into the Hall of Fame. Sting is Sting. He transcends, I work for this promotion, you work for that promotion. Shoot, WWE lets people go wrestle in other promotions, TNA, Japan. So I don't think Tony's really going to give a crap about it. Now, let's talk about compensation, right?
What you gonna get if you
what you gonna get? Because if you remember when Christian Cage had to go over to get when he was under, I believe it was under, was he under WWF contract when he
was over? Getting Flair for the WWE Hall of Fame.
Correct.
For the
and they had to give
Christian back. That was TNA got Christian to make an appearance.
Correct. So if it's just an appearance by another person on AEW, okay. Like, it's not that serious, but because of tribalism, and I'm not trying to oversimplify because I know there's things that go behind the scenes with it. It's not that serious. You know what you could do? You literally can just reference AEW on WWE television. Mm-hmm. We've heard other promotions mentioned on WWE television. What's the problem with saying AEW? When Sting comes out, AEW talent, former WWE Hall of Famer, or what have you, Sting here to induct Lex Luger. Exchange some. It's like a trade in baseball, right? Future cash considerations.
Right.
Write us a check.
Give it a mention Sting and mention, oh, by the way, All In coming this July or whatever. Yeah.
Right. All in Texas. Where I will
right.
but just reference that. Cut him a check. It doesn't matter. Why are we making this big of a deal? And even still, well, and I'm not trying to monopolize time, but even still, if they say no, who looks worse? Does Tony Khan look better for saying this? Like, they don't. Does WWE look better for saying no, we don't want him? No one gets done a favor if they say no.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I'm sure if Sting wants to do it, let him do it.
Yes.
And if the fear is, well, they're going to take a shot at AEW. Here's the thing. If they want to take a shot at AEW, they're going to take a shot whether you send them or not. That's not going to stop them. So that idea that, oh, they'll do something. They'll hurt AEW. They'll take a shot at AEW. If they want to take a shot, they're going to take a shot, whether he's there or not. That's the reality of the situation is one guy's up here and the other's down here. And nothing's changing that with this. It is what it is. So I look at it as if Sting's interested in doing it, let him do it. Because it's not like Sting's an active wrestler now. It's not like it's not like you're sending your world champion and they're going to make fun of your world champion out there. It's not like you're sending over Mox and they're going to be like, yeah, you had something sticking out of your back the other night. You look kind of dumb. It's like, who knows? But like, it's not like you're sending your champ over. It's not like you're sending over one of your top guys. It's not like they're looking for Ospreay or something, and they can have him out there and have Triple H look him in the eye and be like, you ran from the grind, some shit like that. It's totally different. It's Sting, who's retired, who I can't imagine them doing anything that damn serious. And also, like you also mentioned, it's a different landscape now. It's TKO, it's Nick Khan, and yeah, Triple H said the pissant company line, but at the end of the day, who cares? I mean, seriously, at this point, they can say that again. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. The people who are watching AEW and are into AEW are gonna watch AEW, and the people who are into WWE are gonna watch WWE. That ain't a comment like that ain't changing anything. It's just gonna rile up the nut jobs on the internet, but they're gonna be riled up either way. So seriously, I think you nailed it perfectly. People are overthinking this. Yes. It's really not that big of a deal. So if it can happen, I think it'd be great to have like Sting out there, have Luger out there, have Flair out there, have DDP out there, kind of have like a last WCW reunion for this. It'd be kind of cool. I'd love to see.
You know what? That just reminded me of something. Maybe you can correct me if this has been said or done. Has anyone in any wrestling Hall of Fame inducted an entire promotion into a Hall of Fame?
Maybe. Off the top of my head's nothing.
The reason why I say it is you just triggered something in my brain.
Yeah.
At some point, do we induct WCW or ECW into the WWE Hall of Fame?
Just the promotion itself?
Yes. And then what you said was having like DDP, Luger, Sting, all these contemporary of WCW.
Yeah, your 90s faces of WCW.
We've inducted the Horsemen. We've inducted the NWO, DX.
Right.
Like, why not induct the whole promotion? Why not? And the way I say it, and again, internet, calm down, okay? I'm having fun here. The way I see it is a lot of the wrestlers in both WCW and ECW appeared on WWF/E television. What would be the harm in giving credence, especially if they own the film rights or the tapes and things of that nature, the streaming rights? Like, hey, for instance, WCW now has its own YouTube channel through WWE, right?
Right. WCW Vault.
So then you might as well just say, hey, we're going to induct WCW, their history, into the Hall of Fame, or ECW, their history, into the Hall of Fame, especially if you own the rights. It's not really that controversial. But I do want to go back to the Luger bit. Right now, us talking about it is taking the shine away, not us per se, but the internet. It's taking the shine away from Luger, from his accomplishments, from what he's done. Because I remember back in our day when he wrestled Bruiser Brody as a green 20-something in a steel cage. And he was no selling for Brody, and he almost got his ass killed by Brody. Literally,
I remember that one with the blades on his fingers and all that. He ran for his life.
He got so scared he ran for his life.
Yep.
He's come a long way from that green rookie to the failed narcissist. Now, I know a lot of people like the narcissist gimmick. It was pretty entertaining for the time. Made in the USA, Lex Luger. The Allied Powers, back to WCW, the first Nitro on the same night, right? On the first night.
Right.
Luger won the title with the torture rack on Hogan when he had that Planet Luger with that weird theme song at the end of his run.
Yeah.
He has accomplished so much with so little in terms of in-ring acumen that he deserves to be recognized for the work he's doing. Or he's done. And the comeback with DDP and trying to get, to be able to walk and move his legs and to basically bounce back from damn near dying from drugs.
Right.
Yeah, Luger deserves this kudos.
He's had a long road.
Correct. Regardless of whoever inducts him, well deserved. So let's not take away, let's not always just focus on, Sting needs to be the one. Yeah, but let's focus on the guy they're inducting. Lex Luger earned this, and I'm glad as a human he was able to turn his life around. So kudos to Lex, or Larry if you want to use his real name.
There you go. Let me get Mad Chocolate Gaming in here real quick. Since they like your WCW induction idea. That's how I can get my beloved cruiserweight some recognition. Then I'll take that WCW induction. There you go. Then get all the cruiserweights in there. Old Lash LaRue might get some get a hook up there from that. Our old Juventud Guerrera.
El Dandy,
cruiserweight champions. El Dandy. There you go. There you go. So yeah, that could be an idea. WCW induction. So hey, different ways to do things with the Hall of Fame every year.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we went a little over on our first half, so let's get our halftime break here. Then we'll come back. We'll talk about AEW last night. We'll talk about the big spot that everyone's talking about, and then after that, we probably got time. We can probably talk about people's reactions to Jey Uso, because online folks got opinions on Jey Uso, but reality I don't think necessarily matches online. So we'll see about all that. So stay with us, folks. Your Big Old Belt Wrestling Podcast. We'll be back right after this.
Looking to get your brand in front of people who eat, sleep, and breathe entertainment? Big Gold Belt Media is the place to be. We're all about reporting on movies, TV shows, conventions, and everything in between. And we want your brand to be a part of the action. Partnering with us means your sponsorships get featured right in the midst of our content. Plus, we're going to hype you up on all of our social media, connecting you with an audience that loves discovering new things from trusted voices in entertainment. We're easy to find. Just look for us on Big Gold Belt on all your social media platforms. Don't wait, reach out today, and let's start building something amazing together. Your spotlight is waiting here at Big Gold Belt Media, biggoldbelt.com.
Welcome back, folks, to your Big Gold Belt Wrestling Podcast on this fine Thursday night. We are so glad you're here with us as we get into our second half. So let's see. We've ran down John Cena. We've talked about the Hall of Fame. Now we'll this is going to be a detour here into a totally different topic, much more graphic discussion. So we've had this talk before with regards to AEW a couple years back when there was a pizza cutter involved. This, I don't know, this for me was a couple steps more than a pizza cutter. So last night, I don't know if people have seen the GIF. Lord knows the GIFs are all over the place. The videos are all over the place. So you definitely did not have to see the match to have seen this if you've been online today. Yeah. Lord knows it has been all over the place. So we had the rematch street fight between Edge and John Moxley for the AEW World Title last night out in Nebraska, where there was apparently a hell of a blizzard going on yesterday. So definitely some weather they had to contend with, but they had their rematch street fight. And you know how Edge has been carrying around this board with nails, covered in nails. Spike, I think he's calling it. And definitely been, we've had our teases of Spike being used. We've had near misses of Spike being used. And I guess they figured with the street fight stip, maybe the blizzard, who knows? We're going to go the extra mile tonight. The board's going to be used. Spike is going to be used. So we ended up with a moment in the match where they start fighting over the board. I think first was a shot to the gut. And then it ends up on the mat, laying on the mat, nails facing up. And Edge grabs Moxley, hooks him in a suplex, takes him over, clear right onto the damn board, right onto the nails. So like your thumbtack spot taken to the extreme, taken to the next level, taken as far as you could probably take such a thing. And Mox immediately sells the hell out of it. He gets up and it's stuck in his back. The referee starts going for it. I think Moxley remembers saying, no. We are milking the hell out of this.
Yeah.
I have to take this. And like he gets up, he slowly lurches around the ring a little bit with this board stuck in his back. And I mean, it was a hell of a visual. I will absolutely give that. It was a hell of a visual. Yes. Eventually the ref tries to get it loose and there's a really gory, close-up shot of them trying to remove it. That was the part where I was like, okay, that was a bit much. But it was a lot. And it was on TBS. They're on now, not TNT. It was on TBS last night. So it was on regular old cable in prime time. So Damian, thoughts on was this I mean, this has to be the most graphic thing they've done on TBS. I'm thinking back in the day, I mean, the Road Warriors took the spike to Dusty's eye, but it wasn't embedded in his head. This was embedded in his back, visually, clearly in his back, with no one holding on to it. So,
Yeah.
Thoughts?
So the way you brought it up just now made me think right beforehand of old ECW, right?
Mhm.
Where we've seen bomb matches, actual barbed wire matches. New Jack existed. So
Right.
obviously this isn't new for us, but you did say something that made me rethink what I was going to say. For TBS,
Mhm.
is this the most graphic thing we've seen for TBS? And as someone who's watched a lot of Turner movies for guys who like movies and seen edited movies on TBS where they avoided all the gore and all that other stuff,
Right.
this is probably the most extreme, pardon the pun, that we've seen anything on TBS. And my bigger question, like it was gory, the spot was what it was. Mox
Right.
has always been that guy, going all the way
Right.
back to CZW.
Yeah.
He's
That
always
part's not a
been that guy.
surprise.
Not
Yeah.
at all. I did like the part where Yuta tried to get it off, and you was like, "Well, I can't do it either," and it was, and he sold it. I feel bad for Renee backstage talking about like, "Damn, really again?" But the spot itself was great. But then I thought about, was it necessary? Was it really necessary to garner? Prime example. Remember when he was Ambrose and he
Mhm.
was fighting Lesnar at SummerSlam, and he went to go talk to Terry Funk. He went to go talk to all these hardcore icons. They gave him the chainsaw, and we thought, oh yeah, he gonna use the chainsaw on Brock Lesnar. And obviously we knew it wasn't gonna happen, but to tease it and then not to use it, that's been
Right.
disappointing over the years. We finally got someone teasing a weapon of vile proportions, and we finally got to see it play out in
They paid
all
it
of its.
off.
They paid it off. As a wrestling fan, as long as you and I have been fans, Will, we love this. The payoff to something that's been led up to. And on top of that, he got his comeuppance and he still won the match.
Right.
So win-win all around, all around. Did we need it? And I say that because it wasn't a blow off in pay-per-view. It wasn't leading to an even worse match down the road. It's not like we're going to get an actual bomb match out of this.
Right.
Did this feud need it? Need that spot?
Edge with a damn spike board covered in nails. I don't know. It's I don't think Edge is a weird character these days because he just doesn't
Yeah.
click for me,
Me
you know?
either.
And so it doesn't, to me, it's not something Edge needs. I think it would fit better with a different character. Now, I said there's no surprise, like we just said, about Mox being into doing this. So that part's not surprising. You did mention a detail. My main thought of it is on this key part of it. I don't mind that they did it. Only thing that gets me is you did it on basic cable. Make people pay for this. Put it on the
Yes.
pay-per-view. You just had this match main event a pay-per-view 2 weeks ago, and for the most part, most people online hated the match.
Correct.
And so I guess part of the thing, maybe we got to make this right, come back and this, but you could have put this on pay-per-view and people would have been talking about it. And people would have had to have paid their $50 to see the spike board in the back. But you put it on basic cable. So I don't know. The flip side is okay, you got publicity out of it or whatever, but it's a tricky bit of publicity in my mind because a lot of people are going to be turned off by it. And the people that are into it can already see that kind of stuff elsewhere. So I think it's just for them, it's par for the course. The people that are going to be into it, it's par for the course. The people who are going to be shocked by it, it's more likely to just push them away. So I'm not into the idea of putting it on TBS. I'm putting it on your weekly TV. I would have had it on pay-per-view. But the spot itself, it don't bother me that much. Lord knows we're from the generation that was getting tapes of FMW, barbed wire and bombs and sickles, Mr. Pogo and all that. So that part don't bother me. But as a one-off, it's how the pizza cutter was years ago. This is probably the biggest thing since then that they've done. So it's like once in a while Tony's gonna go there, but hell, in both cases, these were both things they put on normal TV. So
yeah. But the first time when they did the Nick Gage bit with the pizza cutter, Didn't they lose certain corporate sponsors because of it?
Well, it was the freak damn chance of a Domino's ad came on
That's right. I remember
when it happened. They did the picture-in-picture, and a damn Domino's ad of all things came on.
That's funny.
So people, of course, online ran with that. They're like, "Look at this! Look what the hell happened!" So, yeah, this didn't have that problem. But
then it was moot. I'm with you. It was moot to do it in this realm. How you describe it sounds like a course correct from a very lackluster first match that they had, and it was a course correct to make you forget how bad the first match was, right?
Yeah.
And then you follow that up with an Uncle Dax potential heel turn that is going to get lost in the shuffle here. You know, the whole walk away, like it was Rick Martel walking away from Tito Santana and Strikeforce. There's a reference for you guys. But don't get me and Will on a tirade on old school stuff. Yeah,
they're on the show tonight. It just says we're going to be all 80s wrestling references the whole show.
Exactly. So you're burying potentially that also with teasing a potential FTR breakup just to do your one spot. Now, is it going to get you more eyes on the product? No, because you're not going to do this every week. Part of the reason we tuned into ECW was because we didn't have an alternative. So we went to watch this on cable at 2:00 in the morning, mind you, but still was on cable. But we knew we might get something like that. And then on pay-per-view, I'll say this. Remember Barely Legal 1997, the first ECW pay-per-view, when we saw some stuff. But to your point, it was on pay-per-view. Y'all could have made money from this. And that's the part that bothers me so much, is because you were so, and I'm not trying to be in the booking room. Y'all course corrected so much to the point where you gave away this freebie on television.
Especially given, as we've talked about forever, they are still clinging to that pay-per-view business model that is so outdated.
Yes.
And we keep going on about it's a subscription-based world. They need to get on Max and they need to just have it on their subscription, but they are still all about pay-per-views. So if your whole business model is built still on pay-per-views, you need to save these big things for when people got to pay the $50 because you're asking $50 for a pay-per-view in 2025. Every darn time one of these shows come up, we talk about, is it worth the $50? Every darn time, and we're always kind of like, I don't know about $50, maybe 20.
Right.
But
we never say that. Also, every time we bring it up, we always say, is it worth it? No, it's not worth the $50. No.
This is the kind of stuff you need to do to get people willing to shell out $50, especially when it's not even a quarterly thing anymore, but it's more like 9 times a year. So,
but I could also see if this was their gimmick.
They have a show coming up at the beginning of April. The next show is like Dynasty, I think it's like 2 weeks away. So, the choice to put this on TBS, very odd to me. So,
correct.
I don't know. That any other thoughts on it? That's all I got to say about it.
No, that you just said the last thing I was going to say is about you had a pay-per-view 2 weeks from now. You could have just saved that for the pay-per-view and done the no holds barred match there. But I'm not Tony Khan, so okay, thank you.
Yep, there we go. All right, let's get in to our last thing of the night. We are flying tonight. We weren't sure how many things we were going to need tonight. We are moving right along. So I was purposely going to be saving this, and how we might be talking about this again in a couple weeks because we got about a month for WrestleMania. So actually, no, we do. It is a month because today is the 20th.
Yeah,
WrestleMania is the 19th and the 20th. So we're 1 month out, and I'm sure this topic is still going to be getting beat in the ground all damn month because it's been getting beat in the ground since the Royal Rumble. Folks online they just got an issue with Jey Uso. And I swear, if you go online, people every day are in their feelings about Jey Uso in this match with Gunther and just, what are they doing? Jey Uso's he's just a catchphrase. His matches are no good. And we can't make him champion. That's going to be dumb. He messed up jumping over the ropes this week. And if you go online, I swear, you would think Jey Uso is just hated. But damn, that man comes out in the building and people are eating and their arms are going up and down and the merch is getting sold. The shirts are getting sold, the t-shirts and the sunglasses, all of it. The merch is getting moved big time. In the building, the man is over. But online, folks are just crying foul, and it's just funny. So the question is, we're a month out. Is it time to pivot on Jey Uso? Are we in an emergency situation? I say hell no. But goddamn, you go online, you have people be like, "What are you talking about?
Oh my God,
the Yeet merchant. It's a joke. He's no good. The match is going to be horrible." Damien, what do we do here?
Y'all give me a headache. I swear. Like we said at the beginning of the show about in regards to the Cena, the fickleness of fandom. When they had Backlash in France, and that reaction was the start for, at least for me, to jump on the Jey Uso train when he got that reaction from an entire country. And now to this, he's been who he was back then. And all of a sudden now we have a problem with it. Y'all didn't care when they were yeeting in France. Y'all didn't care when they were yeeting, when we even said when he goes to another local non-fandom crowd, like let's say Podunk, Mississippi, right? Will they still yeet and love this man? And they did. And they kept loving the entrance, and they kept loving the passionate promo. And I think that's part of it too, is that everyone wanted him to be this wordsmith like he's Dwayne or like he's Roman. He doesn't have to be. Jey Uso is the definition of a guy that was toiling in the tag team division with his brother for years. And he finally got some singles attention where people last year, 2 years ago, I don't know when it was clamoring for him to beat Roman for the title during that tribal rules match, if you remember that.
Yep. SummerSlam. Yep.
So wait a minute. He sold more merch since then. He's won the Royal Rumble since then. Gunther has made him an even bigger sympathetic baby face. Because remember, for a time there, we were thinking Gunther might be a tweener. He might be because of his in-ring work.
Yeah.
Ever since he lost that Saturday night's main event, he's garnered more sympathy from fans and people, most importantly, who buy the merchandise. Triple H has said it years in the past. They're the ones who determine who gets over, even if we don't want them to get over behind the scenes.
Talk with your wallet.
All with your wallet. They vote with it. They like this man. Yes. Is he a catch-as-catch-can phenomena? No, he's not AJ Styles in the ring. He's not Will Ospreay.
Yes, who else wasn't? A guy we were talking about earlier, Lex Luger.
Lex Luger. Lex Luger was torture rack, elbow, flex. Cool. Jey Uso, entrance, energy, super kick, splash.
Right.
We bitched about growing up the 5 moves of doom, right? In the sports entertainment realm. Hogan, punches, leg drop. Warrior, shake ropes, drop you, splash.
Yep.
This has been the formula for a long time. And WWF/E has never been the wrestlers fan show, right? Daniel Bryan being almost an anomaly in the current timeline, and AJ Styles. He's a WWE superstar for over a decade. He's finally getting his chance. He's got people in his corner. He's got people voting with their wallet. He's got support from management. What's the problem?
You know what I remembered here while we're just talking about this in the back of my damn head? It was just a few months ago. It was just back in the fall. They made him Intercontinental Champion for all of a couple weeks, and people threw a fit when they took it away from him.
Yes, they did.
They took it. It was only 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever. And people were out of their minds. Huge Intercontinental title when people were going nuts, and then it was temporary, didn't even last a month, and people lost their damn minds. It hasn't even been a year. Yeah, it hasn't even been a year since that happened. Yeah, they gave him the gold watch. That was a gold watch run. It didn't count. Now he's going for the world title at WrestleMania after winning the Royal Rumble. It's the same dude. The crowds are going nuts, and now suddenly, no, we're sick of this. It's crazy.
What do y'all want? Then what do you all want? Okay, and you let us know in the comments if you're rewatching this on the replay or even now. If not Jay, then who? because there's no one else, because everybody else is over on SmackDown right now. All the fun's happening on SmackDown, and the main event guys got their own stuff going on. Punk and Rollins and so forth and so on.
Yeah.
So if not Jay, who else? And let's think about this. If and when Jay wins at WrestleMania, and we've talked about him being the curtain jerk match, right? Like they're not gonna main event either night 1 or night 2. It's not gonna happen. But to start night 1, and he wins the title, and the energy that's gonna come out when he inevitably wins, that's the payoff. Bigger than the IC title win, right? When he had that 2-week run, when he beat Braun, everybody's, ooh, yeah, Jey Uso, all this other stuff. But if he beats Gunther, what? We're gonna complain about that too? No, the man earned it. He won the Royal Rumble. He's gonna get his win, hopefully, if they don't pull some shenanigans there. And I guarantee you, if they do that and Gunther still wins, there's going to be a problem about that too. So I chalk this up. Will, you and I are old enough to know we can chalk this up to the IWC in general, and no one's ever 100% happy. But bottom line, he sells merch. Fans like him. You may not like him sitting on your couch, but the people in the arena do, that buy the merchandise do, and that's all that matters.
Yep. If they're buying the merch, and they're sitting in the stands, and the building is packed, and the arms are going up and down when he comes out, and they're all chanting "Yeet," something's being done right.
Correct.
So until there's empty seats in there, I don't think we're going to see a course correction. I don't think we're going to see a pivot on Jey Uso just yet. So, like I said, I'm sure we will be talking about this again over the next
week,
month.
probably.
Yeah, I mean, the way this is going, I don't think there's a day this week that I've not seen someone going on about Jey Uso and no, that match with Gunther is going to be no good, and oh my God, it's too much. It's too much. Well, we did it. We made it through our show. We did it. We got our shit together this week. We pulled it off. Now next week, I guess we'll be going into Dynasty that weekend. I think that's how the calendar works out. So we might have a show to preview next week. We'll still be on the road to WrestleMania. We got to talk about NXT next week with double champ Stephanie Vaquero. What they're doing with that, because she's got a double. That'll be interesting because next week on TV she's going to be, because they're doing the deal where she's got to defend both titles. So she's going to wrestle. Who is it?
Jada.
Definitely Jada for the big belt, right? For the NXT Women's title, and then Fallon Henley gets her rematch for the North American on the same episode. We definitely got to talk about that next week. I'm into this idea of Stephanie Vaquero as like the double champion, but it's one of those things that I don't see it lasting.
No, I don't either. But
yeah, whether they
we can talk about next week.
Yeah, whether they pull the trigger on it next Tuesday, I don't know, but we'll save that for next week for what's going on there, because these next couple shows are going to be interesting. We don't have a lot of big events happening other than Dynasty, so we have more time to talk about these other topics here. So, folks, let's wrap this up here.
Oh, real quick.
Oh, yeah, get in here.
You know how we always end about go watch something else that isn't wrestling?
Oh, yeah, I was going to throw that in there. So let's do that here. Let's do that here.
I will say, and this is not a plug for our channel, Big Gold Belt Media, one-stop shop for all things entertainment, but Boss Man and I went to go see Novocaine a couple weeks back on a screener. And I know it didn't do a lot of numbers this weekend at the box office, but if you want a good popcorn movie that's going to be both funny, action-packed, and a little gory, I suggest you watch the unintentional hero known as Jack Quaid watch Novocaine. It'll fly by. You will be entertained. For those of you who have queasy stomachs, you might not want to watch it open-eyed. You might want to do this, but it's a really entertaining popcorn movie. It's ridiculous, completely ridiculous. But if you're a wrestling fan, you like ridiculousness. So you will appreciate this. So do me a favor. If you get a chance, see it on a matinee on a Sunday, half-price tickets, what have you. Bootleg DVDs if you got them still. But go watch Novocaine. You will like it.
There you go. There's your Big Gold Belt Media pick of the week on there. Oh, wait, Mad Chocolate Gaming is saying my wife saw it with me. She doesn't mess with action movies, but she's talking about wanting to see it again. I'm flabbergasted. So there you go. An endorsement also from Mad Chocolate Gaming here tonight on the Big Gold Belt Wrestling Podcast. Like we say here, it's Big Gold Belt Media, wrestling, movies, comics, and more. So we're trying to throw in, a pick, a hot item that's non-wrestling every week. So that is the idea here at Big Gold Belt Media. So let me run down all the plugs as we wrap it up here tonight. So as I was starting to say, Thursday nights, 8 p.m., we are streaming live here on YouTube, Twitch, over on X, wherever we can get the stream up live. It is running at 8 p.m. It lives on in video form on YouTube thereafter. So if you're coming in late, want to check out the video feed, it is there on YouTube at Big Gold Belt Media each and every single week. The podcast version drops later tonight. So if you're looking for just audio, that's out there too on all your favorite podcast platforms. On social media, we are at Big Gold Belt across the boards, whether we're talking Instagram, X, Blue Sky, all that good stuff. Big Gold Belt is where you can find us. And of course, on the web, the home of Big Gold Belt Media is at biggoldbelt.com. Wrestling, movies, comics, and more. We got entertainment covered in every which way. There's some I know the boss man is at some screeners tonight. As Damien was just saying, the last 2 weeks he's been out catching some screeners and putting some reviews up. So lots of stuff going on with movies and comics and all that good stuff over at Big Gold Belt Media. So check it out. Glad to have you here with us tonight. So until next week, hang in there. It's spring. Have some March Madness this weekend, some basketball if you're into that. If not, get out of the house because spring is officially here today. And we're on the road to WrestleMania, so I'm sure we'll be talking more wrestling next week, Thursday nights at 8 p.m. So until then, folks, stay safe, and we'll talk to you after a while.